All right, so I'm here with Miss Dana, and Dana is the current Mrs. Littleton competing for Mrs. Colorado. So it's so nice to meet you, and I'm excited today to be able to get to talk with you, Dana. So my first question is just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, it's so nice to talk with you as well, Nina. Thanks for having me. I am a firewife. I've been married to my husband for 19 years.
Nice.
I'm a mom of three kids, ages 16, 14, and 12.
Wow, you're busy,
Yeah,
mama.
yeah, very busy, very busy. I'm also an early childhood educator. And I specialize in teaching children social emotional intelligence.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
before we hit record, Dana and I were talking about how I feel lucky that I did not have to teach my children anything because my children are a little bit old, but that's kind of right up your alley. So maybe it wasn't as stressful for you as it is for some of the moms that are out there.
Yeah, it's a little different having older kids. If they were younger, I would have no problem jumping into the teacher role, but trying to keep track of what they're doing is a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah,
So,
I could totally see, especially when it comes from all different places and different teachers, and that communication style is
yeah,
different. It's hard. It's been
it
hard
is.
for a lot of people. Yeah.
And I actually wrote a learning program and curriculum that I'm still teaching online to children.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's been fun during this, and it's actually it helps children with self-regulation and problem-solving skills. And I have a cute dinosaur puppet that helps me. Her name is Dinah, and she gives kids tools that they can use in the classroom, but tools that they can also take out into their community and they can use at home as well. So it's actually been pretty neat to be able to still do that during this time when they feel confused about what is going on in the world.
Oh my gosh, I bet. Gives them a little bit of stability, and I think that's fantastic. Oh, that's so great. I love that, Dana. Well,
Yeah.
and then let's talk about the pageant. So what motivated you to participate in a pageant?
So the biggest motivator for me was to be an advocate for my community. I wanted to represent wives and mothers, and in my case, fire families, which sometimes it's not the easiest thing to be in a fire family, but it's
Abs-
important.
Absolutely, because I'm sure your husband works a lot of long hours and does dangerous work. And we're so grateful for all the first responders and everything that they've been going through. And I'm sure it's put extra stress on your family as we've gone through the quarantine, and which is partly why we're doing this interview kind of via Zoom, right? So that's
But
fantastic.
yeah, he's still had to work through all of it, his
Yeah,
normal 48-hour shifts, and dealing with people that potentially have COVID. So it's been
yeah.
interesting, but important. It's an important job, definitely.
100%. Yeah, so needed for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what would you say a life lesson that you've learned that you would want others to learn from you? Is there any life lessons that you can tell us about?
Well, I would say something I'd want someone to learn from me would be to trust that you're sharing your gift with the world through your passion and serving others. And then to always be grateful for every opportunity you're given, big or small, because it will go somewhere. Even if it's not right now, it'll go somewhere
I
in
love
the
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly important, and it's a kind of a simple concept, but I think sometimes we overlook those things, right? We overlook those gifts and those opportunities. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you were crowned as Mrs. Colorado in July, what would your reign look like, Dana?
Okay. Well, my job as Mrs. Colorado would definitely be full of taking care of the people of our state. I feel like we all are in need of a sense of calm after what we've experienced here. And I would love to be able to bring that. I would try to visit as many schools and children as I could throughout our state to promote mental wellness in general. I would love to include everyone from young kids to teens to adults and parents to teachers, so that we're all coming together. And I really see our state being an example of how to do this
Hmm.
and creating a ripple effect.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. I think we live in such an incredible state, and I think that would be something really, really important that we need always, and definitely during this time of quarantine and these kind of uncertain times for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, Dana, who do you admire in your life, and why?
Well, I've learned so much from so many. So I just want to say that first of all. But one person that I truly admire is my husband, Jonathan.
Cool.
And he brings to any situation strength and confidence. He is sure about his skills so that he can save someone's life, and he has.
Hmm.
And he is an amazing husband and dad, and he is truly my protector. Truly, truly.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, that gives me chills. That's fantastic. I love it. How have you competed in a pageant before, this pageant or other pageants?
So I had time competing in the Miss America system
Cool.
when I was super young, like 17. So
Yeah.
a long, long time ago. So I do have experience. It taught me a ton about just being a person. And it actually inspired me to write my curriculum.
Oh, that's so great. I love that. See,
Yeah,
I think that's amazing. And is this your first time competing in Mrs. America or Mrs. Colorado?
it is.
Cool.
Yes.
Fantastic. That's great. And then what have you learned about yourself as you started preparing for this pageant?
So I learned, of course, that, I'm strong and I want to learn new things. But I think the biggest thing that resonated with me is that one idea, or one pebble, if you will, one voice and one action can actually start a wave
Hmm.
that can continue to grow. But you have to believe in yourself, and you have to be willing to take risks
Yeah.
and put yourself out there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's really scary for a lot of people. And I commend you on joining the pageant and doing this competition. I can never say enough great things about it, about how the growth that I personally experienced going through the system was just incredible. And I've kept that, and that's really helped me throughout my entire kind of life afterwards. Just gain that confidence, exactly what you're talking about. So that's great. And then besides the crown, right? So that's the goals to win. But besides the crown, what are you hoping to gain from participating in this pageant?
Well, definitely gratitude. Gratitude for every experience throughout it, getting ready for it, the actual um, prelims and finals, the friendships, the working on yourself, discovering things about yourself that you didn't know.
Yeah, it's true,
Yeah,
doesn't it? It totally happens.
yes, definitely. So a grateful heart for sure. And I know I will have it. And it's going to be super fun.
I love that. So we're going to totally switch gears and then tell me what was one of your favorite toys growing up?
Ooh. Well, I would have to say probably my baby dolls.
Ah, I love that.
I've always kind of been a mom at heart, even when I was a little girl, or an old soul, we should say. And I would take care of them like they were real. I would tuck them in at night. I would do everything to take care of them. And
Yeah.
it got for being a mom.
That's perfect. That's awesome, right? And definitely it was something you've always was close to your heart for your whole life, right? Is taking care of others. That's great.
Definitely.
And is there anything else, Dana, that you would want to share with me about who you are, or about just anything on your heart or mind?
Sure. I think mostly right now, I want everyone to know that we need to take care of each other, especially during this time, but always. We need to give ourselves some grace during this time. And we need to be real with how we're feeling and communicate it in a good way, of course, because children are watching us. They are seeing how we deal during this time, and they're going to be a little sponge and learn from that. I actually taught a lesson that is kind of dear to my heart the other day online to children about filling buckets and how we all have an imaginary bucket above our head,
Hmm.
and it's either full or maybe not so full or empty. And the idea is when it's full, we feel full of love and joy, and we can be our best people. But it can get drained, drips can come out. And when that happens, then we start feeling low and depressed, anxious, all of those things. So the biggest thing is noticing when someone's bucket is a little low
Yeah,
and to help fill it.
absolutely.
Lots of things, even just calling somebody or doing a little coffee time over Zoom. That's going to put drops in everyone's buckets, whether you're an adult or you're a child. And uh, I think it's something that is important now, but to carry on.
Yeah, totally agree. Don't I think that's amazing because I feel like during this time we're not physically connected to as many people as we normally would be, but it's nice to spend the time with our family and our close ones. But it's a lot of people I think have felt some depression or some anxiety kind of through this quarantine. And how can we one take care of ourselves and then also take care of the ones that we love as well? And I think it's important to put that in the forefront of our minds. So I think that's great, Dana. Yes. I just want to say it's been lovely to talk to you. So thank you for taking the time out of your day. And I really appreciate it. And then I will be there in July. So I will get to meet you face to face in July and we'll have a great time. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. It's been such a joy talking with you. And yeah, it's been so much fun.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.